welcome to today's Big Brother 17 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Amir Monis, watching all the way from Egypt. That is so awesome. So Amir's favorites so far are Vanessa, the twins, and John. Now, this was from about a month ago, so I'm wondering if they're still your favorites. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm just wondering, so let me know in the comments. And he wants to know who are my favorites. I'm gonna have to say I'm rooting for the goblins right now. They're not the smartest, but I would like to see them win. I don't know, I prefer them over the others. And also, I love John as a person, and he's so entertaining, but I'm still like scratching my head over his game. But I am rooting for him too. Alright, so last night, Shelley took the advice of Becky and John, and she was like, whoa, I need to campaign to those goblins because I can just see my votes slipping away. So she goes and talks to Jackie and Meg, and she's like, guys, it's definitely better to keep me this week. Vanessa is super tight with the Oz twins. That is a solid group of 4. They're not going to go against each other. I, however, have no one. So you can scoop me up. I will work with you guys. We can go after the Oz twins together. I'm not coming after you. So then Jackie is using this opportunity to get some more information. She's just like, cut the BS. Tell me what I want to know. So she's like, we want to know, was Becky giving you and Clay information during James's HOH week? And Shelley's like, y'all, the only thing Becky told us was that we were going up on the block, y'all. So, that's kind of a big deal. But anyway, James comes in, and Shelley's like, James, I want to bury the hatchet with you. Clay and I were never coming after you in the first place, so I don't know where that information came from. Oh wait, yeah I do. It probably came from Vanessa. She's gotta go. So Shelley's giving her whole spiel to James, and it doesn't really seem like it's working, but we'll come back to that. So Austin and Steve were chatting, and Austin finally clues in Steve on what's going on this week, so he lets him know, I think the vote's gonna be unanimous to keep Vanessa. So Steve gives his usual response where he's like, okay, thank you for telling me that, thank you. Yeah, I feel like he says that to everyone when he gets information. But anyway, then they were talking about how the rest of the house thinks that they hate each other and it's going great, so they should just keep up the good work. Seriously though, how do people not realize that Steve and Austin are working together? Hello, their names combine to make Steve Austin, who's like a real person. So it's pretty obvious that they're working together. I know that's not, but it's funny. Okay, so moving on. James, Meg, and Jackie are all talking things over in their office, aka the have-not room, the dentist's office. And they agree, you know, Shelley brought too little, too late. Sorry, we're gonna have to keep Vanessa this week. But looking forward, they're not happy about all this information that they're getting about Becky. They feel like they can't really trust her. Jackie's kind of like, well, Becky's with us now, like we can't really dwell on the past and like do all these what ifs or whatever. But James and Meg are just like, no, we can't trust Becky. We can't work with her. So then Austin comes in, and he's suggesting that if they win HOH in the double eviction, maybe don't target Becky or Vanessa, because those two are going to be going after each other anyway, so why do their work for them? They could just have an easy week if one of them wins HOH at some point. So Austin's like, why not take floater? Take out a floater, and then let Becky and Vanessa duke it out if one of them wins HOH. So they're like, maybe. So on a related note, the Oz twins and the goblins are calling themselves brass tacks, just in case you were wondering. That's like the big buzz phrase of this season, brass tacks, or at least this week. So Shelley and Becky were then chatting in the HOH room, and they were talking about Vanessa's campaigning this week, and Shelley's just like, y'all, I don't really like what Vanessa's doing right now. You didn't have a problem with it when Vanessa was on your side doing that stuff, but now that you guys are against each other, oh, it's awful, oh my god. But Shelley's like, yeah, my eyes have been open this week, it really sucks. So Becky's telling her, it seems like the votes are 50-50 right now, so we gotta put in the work. You better check those numbers, girl. I don't see 50-50 there at all. But anyway, Becky is like, wow, I'm really effed if Vanessa stays this week. But she's not really regretting what she did because she's glad that she at least exposed Vanessa and her lies, because Vanessa was just like going along on her merry way, fooling everyone, but now at least Vanessa has a huge target on her back, so she feels pretty good about that. So Shelley's like, who cares? Let's talk about me. I need to get these votes from the Oz twins, so I'm gonna work on that. Alright, so the feeds were down last night for about an hour, and during that time, the house guests were watching video clips from different events and competitions throughout the season. You guys know this is prep for an upcoming competition, most likely the first HOH competition during the double eviction. So the feeds come back, everybody's studying for that competition. There was a lot of studying going on last night. So then I guess it's kind of like the GIF one from last season. That's always fun. So then Vanessa and Johnny Mac were chatting in the comic bedroom. It seems like Vanessa's trying to like smooth things over with him. So she elaborates, aka lies, a little about the whole 8-person double eviction deal, that whole meeting that went on in the HOH room. So Vanessa is claiming that she was the last one pulled into the room, and she couldn't just like disagree with what everybody was saying up there. She had to agree that she was going after Steve, Johnny Mac, and Shelley. What? That whole meeting was your idea. You're the one who came up with it. You were like, Becky, are you gonna go after these people? Deal or no deal? So like, come on. I mean, maybe technically she was the last one to walk in the room. I don't know. I don't have the energy to go check on that. If anybody knows, awesome. But seriously, like, come on now. So, not Becky. Vanessa is trying to say she was never targeting Johnny Mac, and if she could have won that slip and slide HOH competition, she would have thrown it because she didn't want to have to go after Johnny Mac, and I don't see how this should be comforting for him. If somebody said that to me, it would mean, hey, I'm so loyal to you that I'm going to throw this competition and let somebody else win so that they can take you out and I won't have to worry about it. So I would not be happy if I heard that from Vanessa. But anyway, Vanessa's like, Johnny Mac, I know that you and Becky are close, but this just shows you how straight up of a player I am. I'm telling you right now, I'm going after Becky. So Johnny Mac does not say much throughout this whole thing. He's just like, so then Vanessa asks him for his vote, and he's just like, I'm gonna think about it. Alright, so all the house guests take a break for a little while from studying and such for Wednesday night bowling. It's a big tradition this season. Yay! Alright, so after bowling, Liz is feeling a little bit jealous. She still gets jealous because Austin is like spending all this time with James now. They're broing out together, and Liz is just like, what the hell? So you know that Austin is gonna be happy about that when it comes back to him. He's gonna love it. He's gonna be like, oh, Liz really likes me. So there was a ton more campaigning last night, all across the board. Shelley, Vanessa, and then of course that was followed up by like, what are we gonna keep? What are the pros and cons? It was exhausting. When all the dust settled, it looked like, you know, Vanessa's gonna stay this week, or at least through the first eviction. So this morning, it was seeming like Becky was kind of coming to terms with Vanessa staying this week. It's not what she wants, but she's just like, I can't really do anything about it, so whatever. So Becky is talking about how if Vanessa wins the HOH, she's most likely going up on the block. But there's still the power veto competition, and even if she's evicted, there's still a really good chance that a juror will be coming back into the house. So she's like, you never know. Whatever happens, happens. So Julia and Vanessa were talking, and Julia expresses that she is not happy with Austin right now. She feels like he's gonna throw this HOH competition, and we've seen that like Austin is not very good at competitions. So she's kind of like, has he been throwing all of them? Does he just suck? I don't know, but she feels like he's definitely thinking about throwing this one, and she's not happy how he's all buddy-buddy with James either. Not because of like a romantic thing, but just because like he's not really in their alliance. Like they have this brass tacks thing going on, but like Julia is not totally invested in that. So she also notices Austin's been studying with that group, and it's not cool. So then Liz comes in, And they're like, so Liz, is Austin actually gonna play to win this HOH, or is he throwing it? And Liz is just like, oh my god, like, he's just being all buddy-buddy with them. Like, relax, he's gonna try to win. So then they're like, well, why is he studying with them? What's the deal? Blah, blah, blah. And Vanessa's like, Austin, does he even realize, like, if the other side wins the HOH, I'm gonna be in trouble, I'm gonna be going up on the block, and I could be leaving. So then she brings up how Austin was supposed to be going to the other side and getting information and bringing it back, not just like hanging out with them and having a good time. He hasn't brought any information back. So then Austin comes in, he's talking about plans for the double eviction. He's like, we're all good, going after Johnny Mac, right, blah, 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 blah. And Vanessa's just like, Austin, wake up. The others, James and his crew, they're not on our side. You need to, like, chill. So Austin's just like, not now, Vanessa. I don't want to argue about this. I don't want to hear your conspiracy theories. So Vanessa's like, they're not theories, it's fact. Like, they're not with us. They're not on our side. So then Austin, like, storms out of the room. He's pissed. So then Austin and Liz are talking, and he's just like, I'm sick of Vanessa and her conspiracy theories. I could flip this vote right now, and she'd be going home. Oh, snap. Imagine. Austin says he's sick of Vanessa trying to control him. He's a big boy. He's ready to go out there and make his own relationships and make deals and work with people. And he doesn't want everyone thinking that Vanessa's controlling him. So then Liz and Julia were talking about Austin, and Julia's like, Liz, I'm really tired of him. He's rude, he's gross, and I don't like him. So Liz is defending him, and then Liz admits she made out with Austin under the covers last night. Ah! Julia is freaking grossed out, and I'm just like, what? Like, that definitely wasn't on the feeds. I didn't see that, and I didn't see any other sites reporting that, so, like, it must just not have been on the feeds, but, like, where else would that hickey on her neck have come from? But, oh my god, I thought she didn't like him. So there wasn't too much going on after that, because it was time for the feeds to go down. Tonight is the double eviction. It looks like Shelley will be the first one going home, well, going to the jury house, and it looks like it could be unanimous. I'm not really sure which way Johnny Mac is going to vote yet. I don't think he's going to want to be that standalone vote for her to stay, but you never know. So it looks like it could be unanimous, and I want to know, who do you guys think is going to be the second evictee? Who are you rooting for in the HOH competition? Who do you think's going home? Let me know in the comments. And they should be doing the second HOH of the night, like, after the show's over. They usually wait a little while and then do that. So if you guys don't want to wait until tomorrow for the results, check back on this video later. We're going to put the winner of the second HOH at the bottom of the info. So make sure you check it out. So I'm sure tonight's going to be crazy, and make sure you check in later. So until tomorrow, much love.